Alright, hello. So, I thought I kind of want to make a Siege video, so I decided upon, since technical test server is out, or I guess it's just test server, at least now, and I actually had access to it, I thought I'd kind of do something with it. So, only level 21 here, you start at level 20 on the test server, so I've played on this thing for, give or take, about 2 hours now. So, I'm going to be using the general, I guess, knowledge I got from gameplay and some predictions to tell you. I'm going to go through all the operators here in order, starting from attack and then go to defense. I'm going to talk about, if they're going to be either better, worse, or stay the same as they were in the last season. Because, honestly, the meta is shifting, and the meta is definitely shifting towards, I would definitely call it the Intel meta. Because Alibi and Maestro, or honestly, I've heard a couple different pronunciations, and I'm a little confused at this point. They both really provide a lot of intel for your team. And believe it or not, I think they dramatically affect almost every operator on the list here. So, I'm going to start off here. Sludge. If you play a lot of Sledge, good news, Sledge has gotten quite a bit better. So, real quick, I just want to go into Sledge's loadout. As you can tell, nothing about his loadout really changed. But his frag grenades and his actual sledgehammer are getting better because he can use his take out Maestro's gadget. I guess you can also use him for alibis, but mainly Sledge is going to be that guy who's going to be really good at taking out Maestro's gadget, or Maestro. Honestly, this video is going to be terrible, me pronouncing it like that. Yep, you just hammer, grenade, you're good. Thatcher, massive buff. In fact, a lot of the anti-gadget characters got massive buffs because they are direct counters to both Alibi and Maestro. Thatcher is probably on the weaker end because he doesn't actually destroy any gadgets, he just disables them. But, with a big AoE, you can toss one to a room with a bunch of holograms and you're set for the next probably like 10 seconds. Ash, a little bit better here because, again, she can help take out Maestro's gadget. I guess downside is drop shotting isn't really a thing anymore, so a lot of you Ash mains are probably going to be a little off this season, but that's okay. I didn't think she had smokes or anything. I'm going to talk about smokes. So yeah, Thermite, he's not really going anywhere. Probably a bit more of a nerf, because Maestro is going to kind of make it hard for Thermite to plant charges, but at the same time, you're probably not going to find any of the evil eyes in a circumstance where Thermite would actually come into play. So, Twitch, massive buff, basically does what Thatcher does, but to a single target, but she can take out Alibi's holograms just completely and not just disable them. So she's getting a pretty big buff. Although, just like Thatcher, it's only a temporary disable as far as Maestro's gadget go. So, careful with that. Montang, I'd actually say, is going to be a little bit weaker this season. So, you don't really see a lot of Montang anyway, so you're probably alright. But here's why. So, if you place a Alibi hologram in the middle of the floor, he either has to take the time to shoot out the hologram, or get a teammate to do it, which isn't too unlikely. He can walk through the doorway, but he's going to be getting spotted. So you can actually kind of use holograms, they have a Montang. Just throw them in choke points where he'll have to walk over them, and you'll be able to track the movement pretty well. So yeah, he's getting a little bit weaker. On top of that, he does have smoke grenades, and pretty much every operator with smoke grenades is getting weaker because of bulletproof cameras and the evil eyes being able to see through smoke. Smoke and the whole smoke meta that's kind of been going around is going to be a whole lot weaker this season. That's just kind of how it is. Similar story with Glaz. Glaz is actually in a circumstance right now where I'd say he's going to be about the same. Because, yeah, like I said, his smoke's going down the drain is a real shame. Because it's kind of Glaz's thing, But, on top of that, he's a direct counter to Alibi because he can tell, what hologram is which. Because only the actual Alibi will be highlighted. So I'd say it's a pretty good trade-off. And honestly, if you're playing Glaz, you're going to be holding some pretty tight angles. You might not even be in the way of some of the smoke. Or no, you probably won't be in the way of any of the cameras seeing through the smoke. Fuse, other than him having smoke grenades, he's pretty much untouched. I guess they'd have a little bit more intel of where you're trying to plant the cluster charge, but I don't think that's really going to affect him that much. Blitz, same story. He's probably going to be alright. Smoke grenades are going to make him a little bit weaker. So, and now he has breaching charges as his other gadget. And since he can't do the glitch anymore, not in the best place. Flashbangs are pretty great. And if you can just rush Maestro and try to trade him out with a Blitz, maybe a good play, but Blitz is kind of unaffected. IQ, small buff this season, which is kind of how IQ is every single season. because now, you know, she can see all these new gadgets, but that's kind of it. Like, she can see all the new gadgets, tell where they are, so her value is up a little bit, but not a whole lot. But she has frag grenades, you know, which are, you know, a little bit better, taking out Maestra's gadget, so small value increase, not by much. Buck, pretty untouched, you know, grenades, good. Blackbeard is, well, like, Blackbeard's pretty much untouched. There's not much that's really gonna happen with him. Capital, yeah, his smoke bolts are kind of taking a hit, because, again, and it seems like kind of a lot of, I guess my explanation with some of this stuff is because the bulletproof cameras and Evil Eyes can see through smoke, a lot of these operators who kind of, you know, relied on smokes a good bit, kind of going down the toilet. Not gonna lie, kind of feel bad for Capital because he's not in the best place. You know, you see a lot of pro teams use him, but that's honestly a lot of I see of Capital. Like, I kind of wish he would get a small buff in some sort, more to the incendiary bolts. Not really talking like damage-wise, maybe rework-wise, because his smokes, I mean, they're kind of going downhill. But alright, Hibana this season. Hibana's always had a ton of value, but she just got nerfed with taking Claymore away for a breaching charge. So she's mostly untouched, but if you're counting that small little update to Hibana that came in the last update, then yeah, she's a little bit weaker this season. Jackal, pretty much untouched. Smoke grenades kind of make him weaker. Ying doesn't have smoke grenades anymore anyway, so she's relatively untouched. I would say flashbangs might help you out just a little bit with Alibi, actually, because if you know when you're flashbanged in the game, you kind of put your hand up around your face to try to like wave off the flashbang or whatever. It's kind of how you tell people are flashbanged. So you could toss a Candela in a room of holograms, see which ones actually get affected. If none are affected, then you're kind of good. Zophia's basically untouched. Now Dokube's who I really wanted to talk about in this video. So, anyone's been following me for a little while, watch me on Twitch. Now, I'm big on Hibana. Hibana is like my #1 here. Not this season anymore. I'm switching off to Dokubi for probably the entire season. So, her marksman rifle has always been good. Secondary's always been good. She has smokes, which are good, but you know, that's kind of taking her down a peg, and she has Claymore. But her gadget is going to be essential, in my opinion, for this meta. So, real quick, I'm going to remind you. These two operators, Maestro, Alibi, creating an intel meta along with the bulletproof cams. So you're going to see Alibi a lot, obviously, and Maestro a lot. You're going to see Vigil a lot because he's really strong and he'll have a bulletproof cam. You might see a couple Valkyries. That's a lot of intel. Well, if Dokubi hacks one cam, or hacks the cams for the enemy team, Alibi is very unaffected. Black Eyes are under Dokubi's control. Any bulletproof cams from maybe Vigil under his control. Any Val cams under her control, you know. I just said his to Vigil, I'm so sorry. Yeah, point being, she can take control of all the cams, and since there's going to be a whole lot more cams to take control of, Dokubi's value massively goes up. The Lion, I'm going to say, is fairly unaffected this season. Because, yeah, the whole tactic of, you know, just rushing after you activate a Lion scan is still very viable, but these guys don't really do a whole lot to stop it. I guess Alibi can kind of slow him down, make him think, you know, what target's which or whatever, but not really stopping him. Finka, same thing. These characters are both pretty rushy. These guys don't really do anything. Alright, so moving on to Defenders. Again, okay, so Defenders are going to stay relatively stable. Just a general note for Defenders, I would say if they don't have Intel gadgets, most of their value is going to drop in place of some of the Intel type gadgets like Valkyrie. Like, I'm sure we might see a couple more Valkyries this season, just because, you know, if you're gonna have some Intel, you might as well have a lot. So we're gonna run down real quick. Unaffected, bulletproof camera. You're gonna see a little bit more castle, not a whole lot. You're gonna see a little bit more pulse because Intel based. Doc, you know, bulletproof camera he's in. Rook's just a staple all the time. He's pretty solid. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere. Capkin, stable. Tachanka, stable. Jaeger, stable. Bandit, stable. Frost, bulletproof cam, I believe. Not 100% sure on that. Yes, Frost probably going to go up a little bit. And, you know, you see her a couple times. You might see her a bit more. Valkyrie, a tad bit more. Cav got a bulletproof cam, correct. I'm not 100% on who got it exactly. Cav did. You might see a little bit more Cav in that department. Echo, he's 100% going up. Me personally, I only play Bomb. So Echo is probably going to be that guy I'm going to give a little bit more of a shot. So, of course, the fact that your teammates can spot on your drone now isn't the best thing. It's helpful, but not the best. But he's getting two yokai drones. So if you get your first drone taken out, it's no longer a big deal anymore. So probably going to see a lot more echo, especially if you play bomb. Like, I say, you watch any of the pro games, you know that you normally always take an echo in a lot of circumstances, especially if you watch, usually Penta. You normally have Fabian, who will actually sit on echo. And he's pretty good. I'm actually kind of excited to see what kind of effect Echo's going to have in the pro meta now. He's got 2 of these things. Mira, she's a staple in some objectives, not very helpful in others. Legion, I'd say his pick rate might go up just a tad because he's intel based a little bit more. Same with Ella. When I mean a tad, I don't even like a percent, like very small amount because of that. And I already kind of skimmed over these guys. Vigil's essential. He's like one of the best fraggers right now. Both of his guns are phenomenal. He's got the camera. He's definitely going to go up. And pretty safe to say these guys here are definitely going to have increased pick rates since currently their pick rate in the main game is 0 because they're not even in the game yet. But quick rundown. Basically, I think you're going to see a lot more Maestro over Alibi. Because, yeah, the holograms are great, but they don't always work. And smarter players will be able to identify what's what. Maestro is just, in general, better. But I do want to point out something. Actually, I want to point out 2 things with Maestro before I end this off here. Number 1, I just want to point this out. So if Dokkaebi gets control of Maestro, and Maestro dies, so teammates can't move the cam around or open it to the turret form, and neither can Dokkaebi. So basically, if Maestro puts his evil eyes in a bomb site, and he's dead, so he can't open up the turret to be shot at, the attackers will actually have a camera that's permanently on the bomb site unless a defender is willing to sacrifice like a nitro cell or an impact grenade to take it out. So if you're going to have a Maestro on your team, make sure he knows what he's doing, because a bad cam spot can very easily screw your team over. Second thing I wanted to point out, it's actually about the Alda 5.56 LMG. So this thing here, yada yada yada, belt fed. It has a tight grouping when shot from the hip. Now, I'll tell you what, this gun has very good hip-fire accuracy. And I just want to point this out real quick. I don't know if this is a bug or not, but when you're firing the gun down, see, I'm sure you fire any other gun, like, for example, let's use Ash's R4C. You fire that gun, you're going to have, your crosshair, let's like crosshairs right here, and you shoot it, and the crosshair is going to spread out a whole lot more, because bullets, right? Yeah, the Alda doesn't do that. In fact, I'm pretty sure hip-firing the Alda makes the spread a little bit smaller. It might have been placebo, but the crosshairs, the spread on the weapon does not increase at all. So, I haven't got to try this out yet, because ever since I was told to try this out, I haven't played Maestro yet. Laser sight on the Alda, and then just spray all over the place. Like, yeah, you can put an ACOG on this, you can put an ACOG on this thing, you might not even need it at that point. So, if it is a bug and it has been taken out of the game, definitely try it. If it's not a bug, honestly, Maestro is going to be a little bit more fun on the LMG side over the shotgun. Alright, so that's all I really wanted to discuss. Very quick, I know probably on the defense side, not very helpful, but I think as far as some of the attackers go, I think I might have helped out a little bit. There are a couple things here, especially, I don't say on the Dokkaebi side. I talked to some people about the Siege meta coming up, because let's be honest, that's like all I like to do, is talk about the Siege meta. And I hear a lot of people like, oh yeah, Sledge is going to be great, Thatcher really good, dude, Twitch mains are going to be in high demand, Glaz might come back. Honestly, I haven't heard a single person talk about Dokkaebi. So, kind of hoping to see a little bit more Dokkaebi. Like, honestly, pretty promising, and like I said, she's probably going to be my my new main. If not, I'll probably switch back to Hibana. But that's kind of it. That's all I really got for you here. So, I guess have a good day / night / evening, or whatever the heck you're doing as far as time goes, and have a good one.